Welcome to Beyond the Competition, the SAE University Programs Podcast. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. It is the Know Before You Go for Aero Design East. Looking forward to this one. I'm Mike Sawyer, the podcast and video producer with the SAE University Programs. And, we do this every year. If you're with us with the Aero Design, or if you're the first, welcome. We're happy to see you here. And we hope you're going to be well informed for this presentation to make sure you know what you're doing when you get on site in Lakeland, Florida, and have some fun in the sun, if you will. First of all, we got some old faces and new faces for this production that we do here every year. First of all, with us is David Sander, who is the new program lead for Aero Design. How you doing, David?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. Welcome to all the participants that are joining in. I appreciate you picking up all the little hints that we have to give you.
Excellent. Now, also, David, we need to point out, you're not a stranger to Aero Design. I think even in Florida, you've been to a few of these in the past before helping out.
Correct. I have been to the Florida Aero Design event 2 years ago. And again, it's a wonderful place, but I highly recommend when you do go there, make sure you're bringing proper clothing, wear a hat, wear sunscreen every single day, because even though I'm from North Carolina and I go out and get plenty of sun in the boat and outside in my yard, you still are not expecting how much sun you're going to get when you're there. So that's a huge key when you're there. Everybody, if you don't have it packed already, pick up some sunscreen on the way from the airport to the field.
It's a bit of shock, especially if you're from some of the cold climates like we are up here in Pittsburgh myself. So we also have with us the Aero Design East contest director, Michael Bereswell, is joining us as well. How you doing, Michael?
I'm great, Mike.
You excited to be back? You had a year off, the off year for Florida. We're back with it again this year.
Yeah, very excited. This is like Christmas for me. I enjoy hanging with the college kids and all my friends with SAE and all our volunteers.
Awesome. Looking forward to seeing you again. Of course, back with us, I believe, as to keep in the theme, you're coming to us from an airport currently. Glenn Cashin, your air boss for this year.
Hey, Mike, how you doing? Good to see you again.
Good seeing you too. Glad you could make it. Glad your plane landed safely.
A little delay, but we did make it. Yes.
Excellent. And then we got a new face with us, Sydney Hollis, the Aero East Deputy Director. How you doing, Sydney? Welcome to the show.
Hey, Mike. Happy to be here.
So I guess a little background, so you're new to this. How did they rope you into this, and what's your background, if you will?
Michael Bereswell and I go way back, and when Michael Bereswell offers you an opportunity to get involved on the volunteer side of things, it's a bit hard to say no. So this is something I did participate in college, so it's fun to be back and exciting to be in a new role. My background is in aerospace. I'm a GNC engineer by profession now.
Excellent. Are we going to let them guess what GNC is, like you guys trying to make me do before the show?
They're welcome to it. I don't know that I've heard any super exciting guesses so far.
That's it. You guys get to come up to her and see if you can guess what GNC is at the event. That's the challenge for everybody this year, right?
It is. No bonus points if you get it right, but kudos maybe.
Exactly. Well, let's get into it. We have, if you're on the audio version of this, there is a slideshow accompanying this that is going to be on the video version on YouTube, and I'm sure there's going to be linked in all the news items, the news feed on your apps and everything too. So let's get into it. Where are we going to start here?
So welcome to Aero Design East 2026, kicking off this year's racing season for Aero Design. This will be in Lakeland, Florida, next weekend. So the staff this year is really excited to put the competition together for you. You've got myself as the East Contest Director, Sydney as the Deputy Director. We've got in attendance also Zeke Bowden and Jacqueline Miha, who are putting together the West event. Dave Moriniti is supporting with scoring with Lonnie Dong as usual. Glenn is our air boss, Nathan Blake is going to be our co-air boss this year. We've got Tom Blakeney and Josh Childs supporting you all with technical inspection. Our committee chair, Ryan Reynolds, will be on site with us this year also. Ashley Marshall and Jessica McDaniel have done a spectacular job putting together our volunteers and getting them organized and through all of the events, from technical paper writing to oral presentations to flight line support. So as well as Abdallah Kiswani has done a spectacular job getting all the teams organized for their oral presentations and getting them scheduled with all the judges. And Neil Patel will be joining us again as the lead steward and pit boss. And our SAE pilots, Jason Schulman, Tim Yowzy, and Jason Bauer, thanks to them for giving up their weekends and coming out to fly with the students. And also, I'd like to welcome the SAE international staff. David, if you'd like to introduce your staff who will be joining us on the field.
Sure. So obviously, I'm going to be the program lead for Aero Design, both here east and west in Texas next month. But we have Sarah Guffey joining us. She is the enablement manager. So she has seen and done just about all of the different events that we have across the portfolio, even some things that we have sunsetted years ago. So she's very familiar with everything that we need to run out of the reg desk. And then we also have Damon Andrew. He's serving as a support staff, but his actual title is the project lead or program lead for Baja SAE. So that's our off-road competition that we do. And he's here to both serve as a support person, but also to kind of see what we're doing with Aero Design and see if there's any efficiencies that he can pick up here and take back with him to Baja.
So tent and field rules. When you guys show up to competition this Friday and Saturday, there is one table per team and 4 chairs available per team that have been rented for our use. Teams will pick up their table and chairs from a storage tent. They'll be pre-staged in the tents to be convenient for the students. There's no electricity in the tents. There will be power and charging areas available for your power needs to do rework and charging batteries. Do not connect your electrical devices to the audio system. That is a separate system that is separately rented. It's not available for student use. Motor testing will be done in the designated area west of the tents. That's if you're facing the runway, that's off to the left, to show left. Please remember, only student members will be working on aircraft in the tents and fields, not faculty advisors, not pilots. Please do not allow ineligible people to work on your aircraft. And a first reminder, and we'll talk this several times during tonight's podcast, but SAE International and the teams are all guests of Lakeland Linder International Airport. And so as guests, we need to make sure that we are good stewards of their property. So keep your areas clean, be respectful of airport rules, and we'll all have a good time. Following up, we will have food trucks available at the event each day. New this year, we're going to have food trucks available on Friday as well as Saturday and Sunday. These are available for purchase for the students, including both breakfast and lunch. I'm excited that there's going to be a coffee and bagel truck available for breakfast and lunch. And Sydney, I know that you and I have talked about the lunch options that are available. Which one excites you the most?
I think the grilled cheese truck. That one's exciting.
The grilled cheese truck excites me also. That should be a good option for Friday. The entry and exit rules for the airport are below. The airport cannot be entered before 6 o'clock in the morning. Please do not ask to be there before 6 o'clock in the morning. It's a controlled area. Only Glenn and I have the combination to get into the airport. And so we're not going to be there before 6 o'clock in the morning. Do not show up before 6 o'clock in the morning because we don't have parking space on the road for you to be available. Show up after 6 o'clock, after the gates are already open. Do not get there before 6 o'clock. That way Glenn and I can get to the gates to unlock them. Teams that do not have their own vehicles, you need to be responsible for arranging your own reliable transportation and have that scheduled. Transportation must be at the field to pick the team up not later than 5:30, both Friday and Saturday. We're going to close the field at 5:30 on both of those days. Since it's a controlled space, we need to have students quickly clear the area. And so that means you've got to be packing and cleaning your area ready to go well prior to 5:30. That time is going to be decreased to 3 o'clock on Sunday. Keep in mind, in between Saturday and Sunday, there will also be a time change for daylight savings time. So be prepared for our spring forward. So our time will get set forward in time on Sunday. You must have enough transportation with enough seats for all your team members as you clear the field also. Number 3, all SAE traffic must enter and exit via Lakeland Linder Airport Gate 118 only. That is the gate that Glenn and I will have the combination for and that we will have open at 6 o'clock. Do not show up before 6 o'clock in the morning. All teams must be out by 5:30 on Friday and Saturday and 3 o'clock on Sunday. And our last volunteers cannot leave until all the students are off the field because it's a controlled space. And so we'll get, as you guys know, I'll be walking through the pits at 5:15, telling you how hungry and angry I'll be at 5:30. So be prepared to be out on time. And the last couple of bullets for the airport rules and requirements. We need to be polite and cooperative at all times with the airport officials. This is a FAA controlled space, and with the event officials and volunteers. Citing rules 117.1 and 1.17.2. Additionally, there will be no flying at the field outside of the scheduled hours. Please do not ask for flying. There will be flying available on Friday and for videos and check flights as available. Glenn, correct me if I'm wrong, there's a 2-hour window at the end of the day only for people who need to get a final check flight, correct?
Yeah, what we're going to do is have open flying all day from 10 to 3, and then the 3 to 5 spot is closed off just for people that need to get video. You can get your video at any other time, but that is specifically set aside for just video.
Mike, you mentioned that this is an FAA-controlled airspace. Can you elaborate a little bit more to let them know about any things that might pop up with the airport?
Sure. Because this is an FAA space, the airport does actually close their runway 5 for our event. We have a scheduled NOTAM with the FAA regarding our event. But if weather doesn't permit flying during specific times, be it due to fog or low cloud cover, the tower will close our operations, and we're in constant communication with the tower at Lakeland Linder. If they close us for any reason, we have to abide by the airport's rules. Glenn, do you have anything to add to that?
No, we'll have a radio on the flight line. So if we're in the middle of flight ops and they call us and say we have to close the runway to get 4 or 5 takeoffs in, that's happened before. So we may take a short break for 15 to 20 minutes while full-scale aircraft are taking off over our heads, and then we'll reopen for the competition.
Yeah, just part of part of working around an active airport, and we're grateful the airport has this property for us and is generous enough for us to be able to use it. Another warning to be on the lookout is the warning of Florida wildlife. Beware of the Florida natives. Paradise Field is in a large, low traffic area. It's a remote area of the airport. Some areas are swampy and unmaintained. All of the pictured species shown here are dangerous, and many of them are known to be in the area. So stay well within the high traffic areas that have been thoroughly mowed. Don't go too far off exploring the tall grass or the swampy areas. You need to still watch where you step because of the possibility of fire ant piles. Any dirt mounds out there, they can be full of fire ants that bite hard. Watch where you step. Stay on the path and keep to the higher traffic areas, and you'll be fine. If you see any of these Florida natives, back away. Let SAE or airport staff know so that they can come take care of the problem.
And if your aircraft has trouble and you have to send a recovery crew out to it, make sure that while you're doing that, you're extra vigilant, because these creatures have excellent camouflage and you could be right next to them and you wouldn't know that.
There are a series of local hobby shops in the area. They're all approximately an hour away. The two primary ones that are common for spare parts availability are going to be Graves RC in Orlando, and Colonial Photo and Hobby also in Orlando. Your best selection of spare parts is going to be at Graves. David, I'll turn this one over to you.
Sure. So we are having an engagement lab Friday night at the Fun and Sun Museum, and there were a handful of teams that RSVP'd to this. So this is only for those teams that RSVP'd. If you did not RSVP and you don't have an invitation, unfortunately, we only have catering for the people that we have planned for, and so we're asking teams to respect that and to make plans on your own if you haven't been invited to this engagement lab.
So here's a little bit of the calendar for the weekend. On Friday, we will have the field open at 6 a.m. You can come in and start getting your aircraft inspected, I believe, at 8 o'clock. We will open the airfield for flying between 10 and 5. The last 2 hours will be for teams trying to get video verification for the advanced class. On Saturday, we'll also have a safety briefing on Friday from 12 to 12:45. That'll be on the runway. I would like to have pilots, team captains, and faculty representatives to attend that meeting. Everybody is welcome, but those folks are the ones that must attend that meeting. We'll also have a follow-up meeting on Saturday morning for the pilots and team captains, and then we'll do the same thing on Sunday, just double checking on all their safety. Just remember that we are in an FAA-controlled area. We have to ask permission to run operations to fly anything. And so if we get very direct with you about flying or not flying, please respect the fact that we are inside and we are guests to the FAA. Okay, here's a picture of our field. The no sitting zone is also a no standing zone. That is a persona non grata. Please stay out of that area. That is near enough to the operations, and actually this drawing isn't quite to scale. The tents will be back. There'll be an area beside the tents. There will be open walkway, and a fence will be there that you can view through and photograph through. We'll have professional photography there. Okay, they're going to be photographing, doing still shots, taking really good pictures of your aircraft taking off and landing, and they'll be available. As we go through this, you can see some of the safety areas. If you look to the left, that is the west side of the field. If the wind is blowing from the east, we'll be flying from the west to take off into the wind. And that'll be our order of operations. Up where you see the Lockheed Martin insignia up there, you'll go down the runway to the right, take off at 400 feet, make your turn, go downwind, come back, turn base to final. Make sure you come back and land beyond the line that you took off from. This picture does not have the lines. We will have painted lines that are being applied tomorrow, so it'll be very obvious when you get there.
Inspection summary. There's no schedule this year. Show up early. Have your pre-inspection done before you show up. Teams must certify planes meet 100% of the rules in SAE stars before inspection. If you have a question, use the forum or ask Rules Committee members at inspection before your inspection. Rules Committee members, formerly known as Red Hats, can be identified by referee pennies. Once inspections start at any non-compliance will result in the loss of points. Primary aircraft are given priority at inspection. Inspection procedure. Teams may bring backup aircraft for inspection. If any aircraft is out of compliance with the rules, teams will incur penalty points. For micro tanks will be inspected first outside of the tent. Advanced class wing does not need to be attached, but as small as these aircraft are, it's okay if they are. Additionally, we will be looking to find the water tap that's available at the field. The airport team is locating that for us tomorrow. When they mow the field, there will be a water tap available for teams to fill their tanks.
So for flight ops, teams must come and get in line. Before you get in line, you must have a flight card. You pick that up at the SAE scoring area. That's going to be basically show center back in the tents. You'll pick up your flight card, go get in line with your aircraft ready to fly, wait in line for your opportunity to fly. Once you get into the on-deck area, you will be committed to a flight or at least usage of a flight ticket. We do not know how many flight tickets you will get, but you will generally have at least five flights opportunities to fly. If you have a scratch at that point where you can't compete or won't be able to fly, we will roll you back down and you've burned a flight opportunity. We'll take a lunch break from 12 to 12:30. There'll be no flying. No takeoffs will start at 5 p.m. and that will be kept on my clock. And we have to be clear of the site by 5:30, which means Mike and I will be there kind of shuffling everybody out at 5:30 and closing the gate because we have to give the runway back to the FAA.
The other thing I would add about our lunch break is priority for the lunch lines needs to be given to the volunteers because they need to quickly eat their lunches and get back to their roles. So during our 12 to 12:30 break, if you're in line at a lunch truck and a volunteer is there, please encourage them to proceed to the front of the line.
Okay, so this is microflight ops. This is taking off from the right, flying toward the west. You have multiple takeoff areas, takeoff zones. The shorter the area you take off from, the more points you score. You'll fly down to the end of the runway where a flagger will wave a flag as you come by. That means you've achieved your 400-foot flight line. You'll do a right turn downwind, and come back past the flagger at the start line and land inside your landing zone. Your landing zone is 200 feet long, and you will need to come to a complete stop on the runway. If you deviate and leave the runway, as in any other class, you will be penalized and disqualified from the flight. After you get a successful flight, you'll go down show center and go to the weigh station and unload your water and get weighed. This is a detailed picture showing the 10-foot takeoff line. There'll be what we call a snow cone, which is a tapered area that you can take off from. You see how it's sloped slightly up and slightly down. That allows you to have a little bit of rotation of the aircraft flying into the wind. It's not a very big box, but it does allow you some flight deviations or if you have a crosswind. The second line is at 25 feet, and the last line is 50 feet. If you don't take off by the 50 feet, you'll be instructed to taxi off to the side and disarm your aircraft. Hold your red arming plug in the air to show the judge that you have made your aircraft safe, and remove your aircraft and head off the side of the runway as quickly as possible. That way we can always keep more airplanes moving. This is the regular flight ops. You're going to be taking off from the 0-foot line, flying 400 feet down the runway. You'll see a flag at that point. Turn to downwind and come back. Landing in the 400-foot area, not to exceed that. If you run off the side of the runway or off the end of the runway, it is a disqualification. Also, if you land and break a part off your aircraft, that's a disqualification unless it's your prop, a prop. You'll follow the rest of the same protocol. If you have a successful flight, you'll proceed to the weighing station to unload your aircraft. If you do not have a successful flight, you will exit off and go back to the pits or get back in line, go get your scorecard again and get back in line. So for the advanced flight ops, you'll follow basically the same pattern as regular class, except you could have autonomous flight down the runway, taking off and going toward the landing zone, the DLZ. As you approach the DLZ, you will release your payload on the 8x8 landing zone and then return to base. Remember, you're being timed for this action. The second flight you would have is a delivery. You're delivering a second payload to the landing zone and trying to pick up your first delivered payload and bring it back home. So you're trying to shuffle the payloads back and forth. Again, you have to land inside the landing zone and take off for the 400-foot end. And remember that in advance, you must be horizontal flight for takeoff, and we will check that at the 400-foot mark and make sure that you're taking off with regular lift from your wings. And then if you're transitioning to rotary wing, you can do that after you get off the end of the runway. You'll see a flagger and you'll know when to make that transition. One of the things that I need to point out is in the regular class, there is you're working with very small power, and you may be able to make the whole circuit. You may not be able to make the whole circuit. We will also be checking the batteries since you will be depleting them down pretty significantly. So at the charging station, we'll be checking for swelling. If you have a battery that is swelling or heating up, please bring it immediately to the weigh stick, to the battery charging area, and we will properly dispose of it there. If you suspect the battery is having a problem, bring it back. I was at another SAA event and saw a car catch on fire. So we do not want that happening on this event. We will have fire extinguishers and sand to extinguish any fire. If you don't feel comfortable handling the batteries, let one of the red hats know and we will handle it properly for you. Post-flight ups, I've already kind of covered this, but just remember that as soon as your aircraft comes to a stop or you taxi off from the runway if instructed by the air boss, you must remove your red arming plug, hold it up in the air so that the air boss knows that you're safe, and retrieve your aircraft very quickly. What we will do is have a launch team and a recovery team. The recovery team will go to show center and be ready to recover the aircraft where it is. The launch team will exit the runway down by the line of coming in where the on deck area is. Photography is not allowed on the line. That's where we have areas behind the safety fence for you to take pictures of your aircraft. Please be mindful of this as a safety hazard, and we want to make sure we're taking care of you guys and make sure you're safe. I've already talked about reporting to the weighing station for successful flights. Don't disassemble any part of your aircraft until you're instructed to at the weigh station. If you have a crash or your airplane falls short of taking off, we will allow you to recover the aircraft. If it is in close proximity to the runway. If it is out on the field, we have recovery teams that will go and recover for you. Look to the flight boss. You will get the instruction from there or from the delegate who will be at show center on the runway. They will let you know whether you can recover the aircraft or you need to wait for the recovery vehicles. Recovery vehicles are at either end of the runway, depending upon which direction we're flying.
Just some final housekeeping. When we leave for the weekend, please make sure you stack your tables when you leave for the weekend. Clean up your area as you go. At the end of each day of flying, at the end of inspection, we have trash bags available those need to get tied off and loaded onto the trash trailer so that we can take those to the trash compactor and have any garbage properly disposed of. This is required of every student to make sure that we're clean. Finally, it's going to be hot this weekend. Heat advisory, be prepared for the heat, humidity. There will be a gallon of sunscreen available at the nurses station. So if you happen to forget your sunscreen, don't think that you need to go it alone. We have sunscreen available for the students. Pay particular attention for your hydration. We have water available for all students. See the nurse if you think you're having any heat-related problems. They're prepared to handle heat-related issues. Be observant of wildlife and the weather. Florida can have pop-up thunderstorms in the afternoons, at which time we'll get displaced to our vehicles to wait out any thunderstorms that pop up. Just be prepared for that possibility. I would also say, related to the water that we have available for students, do not use that for your payloads. Use that for drinking. We have water available for your payloads at the tap for the airport. Daylight savings time occurs between Saturday and Sunday at 1 a.m. Our clocks will change. They'll spring forward 1 hour. That happens on March 8th. And that'll just mean that coffee is all the more important Sunday morning. Thank you for competing this year with Aero Design East. Really looking forward to seeing all the students out there this weekend. It's going to be a good time, like it always is.
Just a quick reminder, understand that you're flying RC aircraft that have multiple propellers. So as you're working on one side of the airplane, be aware that the prop on the other side may become active. Please use extreme caution. And if you can, use the run-up areas for any kind of powered flight testing. That way you're being at least somewhat safe. Make sure you're arming your aircraft on the opposite side of the wing of the props.
So in addition to the wildlife that's out at the field, there's also, Mike mentioned that there might be fire ants or something like that. We're also concerned with your safety. And so one of the issues is to make sure that you're wearing closed-toed shoes. If you have any other spectators that are going to be joining you, your mom, your dad, your grandparents, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, it doesn't matter. If they're going to be visiting you, remind them that they also have to have closed-toed shoes or they will be asked to leave. It is a safety regulation that we have as part of the flight operations. So please make sure that you do that so we don't have to turn anybody away.
And a note on the ants. Well, I know our media team usually ends up finding them because we end up putting our bags by the fence where they seem to build their nests. So if you're putting any bags down and stuff, kind of check things, double check things, especially if it's near that fence or any other kind of structure or anything, because that seems to be relatively where they seem to build their stuff. So that is something to watch out for. So. Well, guys, looking forward to another event here. Any last words here before we go? Any advice or anything going into this? A last minute pep talk for anybody?
Yeah, have fun. This is such a career-defining moment that you will look back on with pride through the rest of your career. It's important to have fun and soak all of this experience in while you're out there this weekend.
Absolutely. And it's such an area kind of with a lot of a history in airplanes and stuff, right, in flight, from the museum that's across the way that, like we mentioned, to there's all kinds of stuff in the area, right, like all kinds of museums, all kinds of fields with a lot of history in the area. I know in the past we've gotten lucky enough, I haven't seen the schedule to see a little bit of a drive, but there may be a rocket launch within the event over on the other side of the state, for NASA or something. So things to look out for. It's a good experience if you've never been to Florida.
Those can also be visible from our site.
Oh, absolutely.
Every once in a while we get an odd aircraft flying in. They're preparing for Sun and Fun in a few weeks, and so sometimes we get folks out there practicing their demos for the Sun and Fun Fly-In. Mike mentioned the Florida Air Museum. That has Howard Hughes's personal private collection in that museum. Some of the aircraft on that site have scars from SAE racing on them that you guys can see if you can find those. Overall, it's a great venue. It's lots of fun, very immersive. It'll be a lot of fun.
Just wanted to encourage all the participants to take this opportunity to go out and meet other people from other countries, network with all the Lockheed Martin individuals that are going to be there. We're not really taking resumes per se, but we're definitely looking for talent and looking for people that are able to take a concept and a project and put it into action in a very short period of time. We're living in a time where that's significantly important, and we will be keeping an eye out for good opportunities.
Excellent. Anybody else?
Yeah. I just have to say thank you again for being a part of this program. I'm excited as a former educator. I know how important project-based learning is. And, I applaud all of the teams for making it this far. Make sure that you double check your list for packing. Make sure you have all of your signed documents, especially your fast track roster, squared away before you get there. And safe travels.
Excellent. Any last words from you, Sydney, as the newbie here?
Just wanted to wish everybody the absolute best of luck and have fun this weekend. I know we will too.
Excellent. Looking forward to it. And again, if you haven't yet, make sure you download the Aero Design app on your phone's app store so you can get all the updates straight to it. Make sure the notifications are on. So especially if there's anything with weather, any other notifications while you're on site, changes in the scheduling in the flights, warnings about things that maybe aren't being done or anything like that. Food notifications potentially too. Make sure you do have that on your phone. Somebody has that. And you're getting those notifications. It's really, really important to make sure that it's a great, smooth, informed weekend so you can make the most of it coming up here as we do every year here with SAE Aero Design. Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you guys next time. See you out there on the flight line. Until next time, stay safe out there. Thank you for listening to Beyond the Competition, the SAE University Programs podcast. Show notes for this episode can be found at beyondthecompetition.fireside.fm. Remember, stay tuned for updates on your competition's newsfeed or app, and follow SAE_University Programs on TikTok and Instagram. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next episode.